Lauri Markkanen and the Finland national basketball team steamroll their way to EuroBasket 2025 Final Four. Georgia is gone. Let's talk about it.
Jazz Smack, NBA and Utah Jazz basketball.
Fantastic game for Finland again. And Miro Little, what a shot. He makes one shot the entire game, and that one shot may have saved Finland and advances them to the Final Four of EuroBasket 2025. That long three was crucial. Who knows what happens if he doesn't make that shot? But give it to Little. I mean, he stepped up and made a massive shot. And again, Valtonen down the stretch. Two big threes. I don't know what it is about that guy, but the last two games, he's come through in a huge way down the stretch with making big time threes. Can't give enough credit to those guys. In the past years, maybe it was the Lauri Markkanen show for this Finnish team, but those days are gone. That is no more. Lauri was not the high scorer tonight. Jantunen was the high scorer with 19 points. Lauri scored 17, but Lauri's 17 were an efficient 17. He shot the ball really well. He just didn't get as many field goal attempts as he has in the past. The scoring was more dispersed among the entire roster, but it worked out really well, and I'm thrilled to see that, how it's not so centric on Lauri and the other guys stepping up, making baskets when baskets are absolutely needed. And that was certainly the case. The first half, the team starts out, and they're making shots, big-time shots. Throughout the roster, they're making shots. They build a lead. They get up to 20. Georgia, end of the half, they make a three to cut to 17. So Finland goes into halftime with a 17-point lead. Second half starts. And honestly, I didn't like the energy the first couple minutes for Finland in that second half. And had I been coaching the team there, I would have called a timeout and done everything possible to fire up the guys and try and get more energy in. They just did not come out with the same energy. But like I said, there is always a tendency towards complacency in those type of instances when you dominate a half, as they did. To Georgia's credit, their offense wasn't terrible in that first half. It's just that Finland's offense was much better. But in the second half, both defenses played better than they had, and the scoring numbers were reduced drastically, and it became more of a chippy defensive battle in that second half. And Georgia fought their way back into it. They cut it, and then it got to that 7-point lead, and things were looking really shaky for Finland. And Little, he makes that really long three, the only basket that he made the entire game. He was 1 for 3 from the field. But Little played well in this game. He had 9 assists against only 3 turnovers. I thought in his time running the team, he ran it really well. That 9 assists, fantastic number for him. And I think that is more important overall than his scoring. If he can run the offense and get guys good shots, that is more of a needed role than him making shots for himself. And he just didn't take shots. Like I said, 1 for 3 from the field for Little in this game. But that one shot that he did make, holy cow, couldn't have been any better. And I would assume that is the biggest shot that he's ever made at any level in his entire life, because that may have saved the game for Finland. But anyway, I mean, just a huge game. I mean, you can't say enough about Salin and Jantunen and Valtonen. I mean, just from top to bottom, Kamala, he missed those couple of dunks. He got blocked from behind on the one dunk. He tried to drive the ball to the basket on that other dunk. The guy got in his way. He ended up missing the dunk over the top. It hit the back of the rim. when the guy was trying to take the charge. But again, Kamala is a good player, and he made up for that late in the second half with some plays. So I think, I don't know if Finland can really play much better than they have been playing. I think the guys are almost completely maximized as to their talent level. And getting to the Final Four, regardless of what happens with this next game, their next opponent, and we'll see at the conclusion of the next game between Germany and Slovenia, what happens with that. Everybody obviously expects Germany to come out on top of that game. But let's evaluate that after that game has concluded to see what this Final Four shakes out and how it looks. But right now, reaching this Final Four, I mean, this is an absolutely historic run for Finnish basketball, and it couldn't have gone much better. And quite frankly, this has been a super pleasing outcome so far, and one of the best EuroBaskets that I can recall from a excitement standpoint. Certainly in the last number of years, I don't recall watching FIBA and having more interest in it than I have this run. So let's take a look at the box score and see what exactly transpired with this and where things went for this Finland team. But like I said, if you look at Lauri's numbers, so he shoots 12 shots. And yes, that is the most field goal attempts on the team. Jantunen also shot 12 shots, and both players shot 7 for 12. Markkanen scores 17 points in 27 minutes of game time. Jantunen plays more in 33 minutes of game time, shoots 7 for 12, scores 19. So again, the team overall, look at this 3-point field goal percentage, 17 for 31 from 3 and 17 for 33 from 2. So they shoot better from 3 than they do for 2, and they shot superbly well both from 2 and the 3. And they shot 8 of 10 from the free throw line. So again, the shooting numbers off the charts great. I mean, absolutely spectacular. And assists for the team, 26 against only 10 turnovers. And that 9 assist number by Little, I mean, that's just tremendous. That's tremendous feel and running of the team. And the starting lineup that they have right now for the past 2 games, I agree with that starting lineup. I think that probably should be the starting lineup. I'm glad that he actually moved Salin to the bench and started Grandison and Little instead of playing Salin in that starting lineup. I mean, Salin still, to his credit, I mean, this game, it was like that first game that he played. This game he came out and he was just making shot after shot after shot. And he ends up 5 for 8 from the field overall, 4 for 6 from 3, and scores 14 points in his 22 minutes of play. I mean, obviously, again, you can't expect much more production than what he showed there. He started out that coming in and making that layup, and then things just went his way, certainly. So again, magnificent performance overall from top to bottom by Finland. And, it's remarkable the resiliency of this team, especially when many of these guys playing these heavy minutes are younger guys. I mean, let's face it, Lauri's one of the older statesmen on this team. I mean, you have Miranen playing minutes. He played 9 minutes in this game. You have, obviously, with Kamala playing significant minutes with 21 minutes. You have Little playing. Little still, he's going to play college basketball this coming season. And he's playing 22 minutes a game with those huge 9 assists. I mean, it just goes. Valtonen, 25 minutes. He only scores 8 points. But again, he's there for defense and those timely shots that he's made in the past 2 games. I mean, spectacular play from top to bottom. It's hard to give any actual criticism other than starting out that second half with not as much energy. But then again, like I said, you're up by 17. yes, there's going to be a tendency towards complacency, and Georgia fought their way back into the game and made it competitive, down the stretch in that second half. Fortunately, some huge threes by Little and Valtonen kind of saved the day and righted the ship and stabilized things. But let's see what happens with that game between Germany and Slovenia. I mean, it'll be interesting to see the outcome of that. Slovenia is so dependent on Luka, and Luka's belly aching to the referees and trying to get calls and baiting players into fouling him and then complaining more to the referees. We know how that goes. But I anticipate Germany just being too strong for that Slovenia team. Slovenia is just so centric on Luka at this point. It's not like in years past where Slovenia had other help, specifically Dragic. Goran was a huge factor in the best of those Slovenia teams in the past, and obviously he is retired now, and more of the burden has fallen on the shoulders of Luka. And to Luka's credit, he did get them to this point, which truly is an accomplishment for that Finnish team, because they just so heavily rely on a single player. But let's see what happens. And maybe we can do a preview of the Final Four game between Finland and the winner of Germany and Slovenia. But we need to see the outcome of that game. Like I said, though, this was absolutely a tremendous feat by this Finnish team. Absolutely awesome play. And I'm actually a big fan of Goga. I think that he's got kind of a raw deal in Orlando with the playing time. I think that Orlando team is a better team with Goga on the floor playing. But I've always been a fan. I don't think that elbow that he put up, I don't think he meant anything dirty by it. I've never seen anything dirty when he's playing with the Orlando Magic, so I don't think that he meant anything by that. At least he certainly didn't mean to injure a player. So I'm a big fan of his and have been since he showed up with the Orlando Magic. But anyway, let's see what happens with that Germany-Slovenia game and then go from there. But please, for those watching on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. And you can also follow us on X at JazzSmack. And we will talk to everybody sometime after the conclusion of Germany and Slovenia. Go Finland.